Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we're going to have a look at the latest GFS ensembles, and we'll have a look at various precipitation charts. We've got some more rain coming over the next few days, and then we'll have a look at the live radar, and there was a yellow warning for thunderstorms enforced in Northern Ireland today, only issued this morning by the Met Office. Bit unusual as the thunderstorms didn't look too severe there, so we'll have a look at that at the end of the video. Do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you do like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well. The link is in the description. So if we look at the latest GFS, you can see we are under generally lower pressure, but you can see there's a brief ridge of higher pressure. So generally today, it's actually been pretty dry for most of the United Kingdom, bar from perhaps in areas in the southwest, parts of Wales, as a bit more instability and rain has spread in, and then of course Ireland, Northern Ireland, where there has been a few thunderstorms. Now, overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, weather fronts do start to gather and are going to impact southwestern parts, and then they'll head further inland throughout tomorrow morning. Now, they do look pretty weak, the weather fronts, and they do look like they're going to fragment, but there probably will be still some heavier pulses in there, but generally it does look like it will be light and patchy rain for most areas. Again, I could be wrong, it could pep up a little bit in some regions, but generally it doesn't look like it's going to be an absolute deluge, and if you are outside, you'll be probably unfortunate to see rain heavy enough to sort of create a lot of spray. And any surface flooding or anything does generally look quite light, but being with that, it's probably going to be slow moving, and it's probably going to last a lot of the day. Behind that, as the low pressure starts to take hold, there will be a lot of showers around again, especially further west, as that rain band, initial sort of light rain band clears, and then we head into another low pressure period, potentially again more thunderstorms and showers as we've got the instability. And it does look like, as we head to early next week, we will start to pull down northerly winds. Now, it does look like it will be a brief sort of northerly wind. And if we look at the upper airs, the cold air doesn't quite reach the whole of the country, just hits the tips of Scotland before low pressure comes tumbling through again for 144 hours, and then we do open the doors to a proper northerly wind, and it does look like -5 line could be heading through most of Scotland and even to northern England. Now, I did say a few videos ago that I suspect we've had our last widespread frost for the winter. If a chart like this came off, there would be a decent chance many rural areas could perhaps have another frost. Now, again, the GFS is probably a colder member in the ensembles. The GFS operational, is a colder member in the ensembles. So again, it's subject to change. It's still 180 hours away. But with this sort of scenario, colder air under a ridge of high pressure, we could be seeing another potentially cold few nights. Beyond that, it does look like the high pressure will eventually topple over the UK, bringing some milder air. But again, it does look like generally it'll be going a lot drier in the longer term. High pressure, though, does start to build to our north, and we do start to pull in north-easterly sort of flow, with low pressure coming in off the east, in off the continent, and with this sort of cut-off low pattern. Cut-off flows tend to be positioned further southwards, but here we do have a sort of a cut-off low pattern where we've got low pressure surrounded by higher pressure, and this would produce a lot of showers, and perhaps have an occluded front with it, so some heavier rain with that, even though it doesn't look like a particularly vigorous low pressure. Now, it is 360 hours away, so it's very unlikely it's going to play out exactly like this, but just showing a high pressure is likely to start blocking further northwards again. And in this scenario, doesn't look like there's a particularly decent way to anything particularly warm, and it does look reasonably cool and unsettled. Now, we were looking in the last sort of 5 days or so at potentially it turning warmer in the last third of May. But at this stage, those chances are still reasonably low, and the models they don't all completely agree on what we're going to be seeing. If we have a look at the GFS ensembles, you can see that well reflected by the 12Z run. You can see generally temperatures around or just below average, and then they start to trend a little bit colder around the 22nd or so of May, with colder northerly winds. You can see that each operational run is on the colder end of the ensemble members. Before the end of May, temperatures do start to recover to around average, and again, you have a few ensemble members going quite warm, will produce temperatures well into the 20s. Others producing temperatures in the low to mid-teens, like the GFS, and others sort of mid-teens, high teens, with sort of the mean temperatures. So it's not looking too encouraging for an end of May warm spell. There's still the potential with those few ensemble members showing that it's there's still a chance, but at this stage it's really still up in the air, and I suspect in the next day or so we should have a better chance of seeing best chance of looking at what we're going to see towards the end of May. Now, if you have a look at precipitation, there is a lot of precipitation spikes, nothing too massive, so quite symbolic of no massive deluge, as I've been saying. All those lows that have been aspiring around the UK don't look too vigorous and don't look too deep, so generally it'll be showery activity, lighter rain, maybe some convection with some thunderstorms. So rainfall amounts will be very variable depending on where you are, and if you do see an occluded front get stuck over you, like we had yesterday in the southwest, with that occluded front, you could see a lot of rain. So for rainfall, it's still difficult to predict. It does definitely look like will be rain around. No blue sky, dry days widely, and it does look generally unsettled. If we now have a look at the precipitation charts, we run through the GFS briefly. You can see there's a few showers around again this afternoon, not too many, mostly in the west. Then we see those weather fronts start to move into the southwest, initially a little bit heavy perhaps, and they do start to fragment and just generally become quite light and patchy, and then a few heavier showers moving in behind. But every Sunday again, there could be a few thunderstorms in the south, you see by those sort of greener colours, perhaps showing heavier rain and thunderstorms, and then generally, again, more shower activity breaking out in the day. Perhaps eastern areas could see some heavier showers or thunderstorms, and then generally just a lot of showers and little convective areas. So yeah, nothing too dry with the GFS. If we have a look at the icon model, you can see again very similar overnight, perhaps some heavier rain in the southwest before the weather front does look like it will fragment and go lighter as it heads eastwards before petering out on the east coast, and then again lots of showers packing in. Again, Sunday afternoon potential for some heavier thundery showers. You can see a lot of sort of darker patches symbolic of heavier and potentially thundery rain. Beyond that, again, still a lot of showers around, breaking out in the afternoon, in the afternoon as the sun gets going and convection can start. So it does generally look like there's going to be a lot of showers around, and you'll be lucky to get a day without seeing any rain at all for the next few days at least. Again, you could still just see maybe a few lighter showers, or you could see a deluge from a thunderstorm. So it's going to be very much an outcast situation, looking at the radar and looking at sort of up-to-date forecasts. So I'll try to give better forecasts nearer the time. So over the next couple of days, I'll probably continue looking at these precipitation charts. So just try and generally look at where these thunderstorms and heavier areas of rain will crop up. As again, it'll be only really 12 to 24 hours notice when we will know exactly where they're going to position. If we have a look at the arpège model, more high resolution model. It didn't model the rain in the southwest particularly well over the last few days, so again we have to take it with a bit of a pinch of salt. But generally you can see that weather front moving. It really does fragment on the arpège and sort of peter out, and then a few heavier showers in behind that. And as we head through Sunday afternoon, it looks like a little mini system, or a little small area of thunderstorms and heavier precipitation is going to be moving southwards. And with that, again, maybe some thunderstorms in the south. Beyond that, again, generally drier overnight, a few showers breaking out, but then in the afternoon it does look like convection really does spark off. And again, every day does look like there will be pretty widespread showers. If we now have a look at the latest radar from the Weather Channel, you can see at the moment a few showers in Wales and the southwest. You can see the remnants of thunderstorms over Northern Ireland. Again, they weren't too severe today. I mean, if we run it back a few hours, you can see there were some heavier little pulses, but they don't look particularly severe. There would have been lightning, of course, but they don't look more severe than thunderstorms we've seen in northern England or parts of the south and the Midlands we've seen recently. So I don't know why these warranted a yellow warning and the ones in England, northern England, didn't. So I just, it'd be interesting to see what the reasoning behind that was. But there were thunderstorms, so they have all rights to call a thunderstorm warning. So if we go back to the latest radar, you can see the weather fronts gathering, parts of Southern Ireland, parts of Southwest. You can see it's a little bit heavy in the bulk of the weather front, but as it moves through, it will fragment and turn lighter. Behind that, again, more showers around, but generally today we've had quite a dry day for most areas with sort of patchy cloud, so it's not been too bad today. Finally, we'll just have a look at that brief thunderstorm warning. It expires in about half an hour's time. So, so it only lasted for 8 hours. Scattered heavy showers and thunderstorms bring some local travel disruption. If we look at further details, scattered heavy showers, thunderstorms will develop across Northern Ireland this afternoon. Hail, lightning, and locally heavy rain expected with 10 to 15 millimetres of rain in a few places within 1 or 2 hours. To be honest, that's not too severe for thunderstorms, but perhaps it's because of the warning impact matrix. Perhaps it was the thunderstorms in northern England were perhaps same impact level, but less likely as it's more uncertain where they're going to crop up. So that's perhaps why this got a yellow warning, is because it was more likely to happen. So yeah, just interesting to see with that. But I do expect there probably will be some more thunderstorm warnings, maybe even in the near future, maybe in the next few days. So we'll have to watch out for that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.